Hello everyone, this is Umesh, History Faculty at VISHNU's IAS, and today we are going to have a discussion on the key for UPSC 2021, the history section of the paper we are going to have a discussion on. And when it comes to the history section of the paper and the overall paper itself, it has been a little unconventional this year. And because of the unconventionality of the paper, the cutoffs might be a little lower, when compared to the previous years. And when it comes to my particular section, that is history, the paper had been following the same strategy over the years too. And this year also it has gone for the same beyond the book strategy, wherein your remote knowledge that you have learned here or there, it might be of greater help when compared to the things that you have read in the textbook and revised multiple number of times. And this year's paper has very clearly shown to us that ancient and medieval India, they are becoming more significant when compared to modern India and art and culture. And how this has happened, what are the keys for this, what is the key for this paper will be discussed now, and what are the changing trends of UPSC. We are going to do it as a part of later video. And when it comes to the first question, it talks about what? The 51st question. I am discussing the set C of the UPSC paper. So the answer is, with respect to the question is this way: with reference to the history of ancient India, Bhavabhuti, Hastimalla and Kshemeshwara were famous for. So this is the question, and of these, Bhavabhuti is a very famous playwright of medieval India, and he is considered to be the medieval Kalidasa, and he has written a very famous book called Malti Madhavi, which is a very famous book, and no one knows about Hastimalla, and Hastimalla is not important or very pertinent to solve this question. And the last playwright is Kshemeshwara, who is also known as Kshemendra, and this person, he belongs to Jammu and Kashmir region, and he is also a playwright. If you just know Bhavabhuti or Kshemeshwara or Kshemendra, then you will be able to answer the question to be B, that is playwrights. So the answer for this question is B, the 51st one. So this way you have to arrive at the answer without knowing all the information. Only if you know Bhavabhuti, then you will be able to answer this question. Then the next question, consider the following statements. The Montagu-Chelmsford reforms of 1919 recommended granting voting rights to all women above the age of 21 years. So this is the first statement. And the Government of India Act of 1935 gave women reserved seats in legislature. So two statements are given. So the first statement, it says that Montagu-Chelmsford reforms of 1919 recommend granting voting rights to all the women above the age of 21. So this is a statement, by the very first look of the statement, even men were not given, all men were not given voting rights above 21. So naturally, we might come to the conclusion that Government of India Act of 1919 did not provide any voting rights to women. It did not provide voting rights to women above 21 years of age. So the statement, first statement, is patently wrong. If you want the historical basis for this, even in 1918 itself, Sarojini Naidu, she represented Indian women in the Montagu-Chelmsford reform discussions, and even though she has recommended that women should be given voting rights, the 1919 Act, it has left it to the provinces to give voting rights to women. Only a few provinces like Madras and Bombay, they provided voting rights to women. That too, not all the women, but only the propertied women. So the answer for this question is, first statement is definitely wrong. So because of this. Then the second statement, it says what? The Government of India Act of 1935 gave women reserved seats in legislature is the second statement, right? So the Government of India Act of 1935, it definitely gave special constituencies for women. So these special constituencies were women reserved constituencies, and apart from women, they also gave special constituencies for labor, then commercial sections, Anglo-Indians, Christians. This way they gave special constituencies to numerous sections of Indian society. Even the capitalists were also given a separate special constituency. So the second statement is correct. So the answer for this question is B. That is 2 only is the answer. Then with reference to the 8th August 1942 in the Indian history, which one of the following statements is correct? The Quit India resolution was adopted by All India Congress Committee. See, the very name of the Quit India movement is, it is also known as August Revolution. Because of this name of August Revolution, directly we can come to the conclusion that 8th August of 1942 is the year when Quit India resolution was passed by All India Congress Committee. The technique is very simple. You have to know that Quit India movement is just known as August Revolution. Based on that, you can come to the conclusion that 8th August of 1942 is Quit India resolution, and it is present in spectrum 2. So naturally you have to remember this. So the answer for this question is 53, that is A. So then next question is songs from prison. Songs from prison, it is in fact a translation of some of the Bhakti songs which was written down by Mahatma Gandhi during his time in the Pune prison. Okay, this is not part of any textbook, but if you are generally aware about Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, then you will be knowing about it. In Eravada, Pune, what he did is he translated some of the Bhakti texts of India into English. So this is known as the Songs from Prison book, which was written by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So the answer for this question is C. Then the next question, with reference to medieval India, which one of the following is the correct sequence in ascending order in terms of size, is the next question, 55th one. So when it comes to this question, it talks about the Mughal administrative units, and when it comes to the Mughal administrative units, the lowest level is Grama, that is village. Over village we have Paragana, that is known as Mandal, and over Paragana we have Sarkar. Sarkar is the district, and over Sarkar we have the Suba. Suba means province. So this way Paragana, Sarkar and Suba are the right order of things. So the answer for this question is A. It means that Suba is the largest, that is equivalent to state of today. Sarkar is the district, which is lesser than that. Paragana is the mandal, which is lesser than that. So the answer for this question is A. Then, who among the following was associated as secretary with Hindu female school, which later came to be known as the Bethune female school? See, India's first girls' school was established by this person, Drinkwater Bethune. It was initially called as the Hindu female school, which was established in 1848 it was established in, and one prominent Indian personality by the name of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, he is associated as a secretary to this Hindu female school. He is also the principal of a Sanskrit college, okay, and along with that he was the secretary of this Hindu female school, and he is known for bringing about the Widow Remarriage Act, right? So all of these factors are associated with Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. So the answer for this question is C. So naturally, okay, women's education, who is associated with women's education in all of these members? It is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. So we have to come to the conclusion that it is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Then in the context of colonial India, this was a pretty simple question. Shah Nawaz Khan, Prem Kumar Sehgal and Guru Bakshi Singh Dhillon. Okay, the three people who are associated with the Red Fort trials of Indian National Army. So naturally the answer for this question is D, that is they are the officers of Indian National Army. 57th one, the answer is D. Then 58th one, with reference to the Indian history, which of the following statements is or are correct is the question. So the first statement, it says that the Nizamat of Arcot emerged out of the Hyderabad state. Second statement, it says the Mysore kingdom emerged out of the Vijayanagara empire. Third statement, it says that Rohilla kingdom was formed out of the territories occupied by Ahmad Shah Durrain. Ahmad Shah Durrain is none other than Ahmad Shah Abdali. So when it comes to the first statement, the Nizamat of Arcot emerged out of the Hyderabad state, definitely the Carnatic Nizamat, okay, or the Nizamat of Arcot, which is known as, it was a subordinate state of the Hyderabad state under the Mughal Empire. So in Mughal Empire, Delhi was the capital, and the regional capital of South was, or Deccan region was, Hyderabad. And the Carnatic Nizamat or the Carnatic Nawabship, it was established as a subordinate state to the Hyderabad state. So the first statement is correct, and it was established by none other than Aurangzeb in the year 1692. So the first statement is correct for this question. Second statement, the Mysore kingdom emerged out of the Vijayanagara empire. Okay, the Mysore kingdom emerged out of the Vijayanagara empire. Definitely this statement is also correct, because the Mysore kingdom's kings were none other than the Nayakas, who are subordinates to the Vijayanagara empire, and they used to rule with their capital at Mysore. And once the Vijayanagara power declined because of the battle of Tallikota, naturally what happened is it was replaced by the Mysore kingdom. And the third statement is Rohilla kingdom was formed out of the territories occupied by Ahmad Shah Durrain. This statement is patently wrong, because Ahmad Shah Abdali, when he invaded India, he was helped by the Rohilla kingdom. So Rohilla kingdom should have been established prior to the invasions of Ahmad Shah Abdali, and in fact it was established in the year 1722 itself because of the decline of the Mughal empire. So the third statement is wrong. So the first and second statements are correct in this. So the answer for this question is A, 1 and 2 only. Then when it comes to the next question, which one of the following statements is correct? Okay, here it is very clear. Okay, Ajanta is a very famous UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is constructed, or it is present on, the caves are excavated on the gorge of this river called Vagoda River. Vagoda River is the river on whose gorge the cave has been carved out. So the answer for this question is A, that is Ajanta cave is it lies on the gorge of Vagoda River, whereas the second, third and fourth statements, they are wrong. Okay, Sanchi Stupa lies in the gorge of Chambal River, that is wrong. It does not lie on the gorge of Chambal River. Pandulena cave shrine is in the gorge of Narmada River, that is also wrong, because the Pandulena cave is present in Maharashtra in the Western Ghats region. Then Amravati Stupa lies in the gorge of Godavari River. Okay, that statement is also not wrong. Okay, it does not lie on the gorge of Godavari River. Only the statement 1 is correct. Then next question, 21st February is declared to be the International Mother Language Day by UNICEF. Okay, I don't know why this fact has to be remembered, but how it can be remembered, but this statement is correct. In fact, 21st February is declared to be the International Mother Language Day by UNICEF. Okay, first statement is correct. Then the second statement is the demand that Bangla has to be one of the national language was raised in the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan. So naturally, okay, here if you take Bangla equivalent to Bengali, then this statement is also correct because the language of Bengali, okay, this year there has been a lot of discussion on Bengali or Bangladesh because this year it is the 50th year of independence of Bangladesh from Pakistan. In 1971 it has declared independence, so it is 50th year, so it is very important. So Bangla or Bengali language, it was demanded that it will be made into a national language of Pakistan in the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan in the year 1954. But unfortunately the Pakistan Constituent Assembly, what it did was it made Bengali into an official language but not a national language. So the answer for this question is both the statements are correct. Okay, 60 is C is the answer. Okay, that is 1 and 2 both are correct. Then when it comes to 61st one, with reference to Chauset Yogini temple situated in near Morena. Okay, Chauset Yogini temple is a circular temple which is present in the region called Morena in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, Chauset Yogini means 64 yoginis who are present, and this is also known as a Mahadev temple, and it is associated with the tantric cults during medieval India, and it is the circular temple. Okay, if you look at the building, then it looks exactly like Indian Parliament, okay, which is circular in shape, and which led to the belief that many people believe that in the Indian Parliament's architecture, it has been inspired by this Chauset Yogini temple at Morena, but it is not true. So the fourth statement is naturally correct. So this is very simple. Then if you even know a little bit about this Chauset Yogini temple, then you will come to the conclusion that because it is known as this Shiva temple, so it is not associated with Vaishnava cult. The third statement you can eliminate. Then when it comes to the second statement, there are many other circular temples in India. Naturally, we had some temples in Khajuraho, okay, then Modhera, okay, in all these places, and Jammu and Kashmir also there were circular temples. So naturally it was not the only circular temple. Okay, only statement is also given, so you can eliminate it. Okay, so 2 and 3 are also wrong. So naturally the first statement, even though if you don't know, okay, you have to arrive at the answer. Fourth is correct, okay, and 1 should be correct. Okay, so the answer for this question is 1 and 4 only. So the answer for this question is 1 and 4 only, and the ruling dynasty which has established it is this Kachapagata dynasty. So the answer for this question is C. Then which one of the following ancient towns is well known for its elaborate system of water harvesting and management by building a series of dams and channelizing water into connected reservoirs? So the answer for this question is naturally Dholavira. Okay, Dholavira because it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site of India. Okay, and it contained some water harvesting structures, reservoirs, and canals were not canals, but connecting reservoirs were there, dams were there, and water harvesting structures were there. All of them put together, they form part of Dholavira. This was actually a simple question. This year UNESCO World Heritage Site, so naturally they asked a question here. Then, in the first quarter of 17th century, that is from 1600 to 1625, where were the East India Company's factories located at? This is actually a very tough question. Okay, it is actually a very tough question. Factories means the places where the East India Company used to trade, and between 1600 to 1625, the major centers for English East India Company's factories were, one is Surat, second one is Machilipatnam, the third one is this Bharuch, fourth one is Visakhapatnam. Okay, so these are the main centers of a trade, and Chikakol, which is very close by to Visakhapatnam, that is none other than today's Srikakulam, it was not a trading factory. And Trichinopoli, okay, Trichinopoli is also not a trading factory. In fact, the trading factory was present at Madras. So naturally the answer for this question is A1 only. This was actually a critical question, okay, a difficult one too for that matter, okay, but the answer for this question is A1 only, and there is no factory between 1600 to 1625 in Chikakol or Trichinopoli. It was present at Surat, Machilipatnam, then along with that we had Broch. Okay, these places it was present, but in other places it was absent. So the answer for this question is A1 only is the answer. Then between the Guptas and Harshavardhana period, which are the ruling dynasties which are present in North India? Okay, naturally immediately we have to go back to the map of medieval political India. There we had some states, okay, some important states immediately post Guptas. We had the later Guptas who were ruling from Magadha region. They are also known as the Guptas of Magadha or later Guptas. They were present. Then Paramaras of Malwa, these people, they came after the Gurjar Pratiharas, that is after the Harshavardhana period. So naturally the second option is wrong. The Pushyabutis of Thanesar is the ruling dynasty of our own Harshavardhana. So naturally Pushyabutis of Thanesar, they were present immediately post Guptan period. Then Maukaris of Kanauj. Kanauj is the traditional capital of India, and there was the ruling dynasty called Maukaris there. Okay, Grahavarman is the name of the king. and it was present prior to post-Gupta and prior to Harshavardhana period. And later day Harshavardhana, he united Thanesar with Kanauj and he established his empire. So they are also present. Then the Yadavas of Devagiri, they belong to a later day in history. They are not present at this juncture. In fact, they are the ruling dynasty who replaced the Chalukyas of Kalyani during medieval period. So they are not there. Then the Maitrakas of Vallabhi. Okay, Vallabhi was under the rule of Vallabhi, means Gujarat region. It was under the rule of a ruling dynasty called Maitrakas. So the answer for this question is B. 1, 3, 4 and 6 is the answer. So this is the 64th question. Okay, the answer for this question is B. 1, 3, 4 and 6. Then 65th question. According to Portuguese writer Nunes, okay, this has been actually a very tough question, but if you know a little bit or interested in history, the most important foreign travelers to Vijayanagara Empire are, one is Domingo Pace and the second one is Nunes. Domingo Pace, he visited during the period of Krishnadevaraya, and Nunes, he visited immediately after Krishnadevaraya during the period of Achyutadevaraya. And what he has done is he made some observations with respect to how the palace was functioning under Vijayanagara king. And when it comes to the palace functioning, there he talks about the unique role which was being played by women in the Vijayanagara Empire. Only if you are very much interested in history, you will be knowing this fact. But even if you go generally for guessing also, then naturally you will be selecting all the four. Okay, and in fact, he talks about the women wrestlers who are fighting, who are contesting. He also talks about women astrologers who are actually making the astrological charts for the king. He also talks about the accounting system, okay, women accountants who are present in the palace, and he also says that women also function as soothsayers. Soothsayer means the people who tell the future. So this way, women had multiple functions which was observed by Nunes, which was a very unique observation of the Vijayanagara Empire, and it has been asked as a question. The answer for this question is D is the answer. Then the next one is Madrapali of Andhra Pradesh. So the UPSC has not left its fascination with respect to it, or its attraction towards South Indian states. And here when it comes to this is place called Madrapali, it is the place where Theosophical Society was present. But Theosophical Society here, it was not established by Theosophical Society here, it was not established during the period of I'm sorry, okay, there has been a short disturbance. The Theosophical Society, it was not established by Madam Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott here. In fact, the Theosophical Society here was established by Annie Besant. She was the one who transferred the Theosophical Society from Adyar to Madrapali, and Madrapali was later associated with Jiddu Krishnamurti too, who is also a Theosophist. But here, when it comes to the story of Madrapali, in fact, Madrapali was the place where Rabindranath Tagore, he translated the national anthem from Bengali to English language. Okay, Bengali to English language. The language it has been translated by Rabindranath Tagore, and he also set to tune the national anthem at this place. So the answer for this question is C. C is the answer for this question. Then consider the following pairs. Okay, so the 67th question, Bursham. Bursham is a prominent Neolithic site, and it is not associated with any rock cut shrines. In fact, it is associated with what is called as the pit dwellings. Okay, or pit dwellings are present in Bursham. So pit dwellings is the answer for this first statement. That is wrong. So once you eliminate one, the second one is Chandraketugara. And this year during the electioneering in West Bengal region, Mamata Banerjee, she has talked about restoring Chandraketugara. Chandraketugara was a prominent town, port town of Bengal region. It belonged to the Anga region, okay, Anga Mahajanapada, and it had contained many terracotta art forms too, and Mamata Banerjee, she wanted to restore it. So that is the reason why this statement has been given. Second one is correct. And Ganeshwar is a very prominent copper site in India. Okay, copper mine site in India. It is very close by to the Khetri mines of Rajasthan, and there we find naturally many copper artifacts. So the answer for this question is 3 only. So C is the answer. So the answer for this question is 2 and 3 only. D is the answer for this question. I'm sorry. Then the next question, 68th one, consider the following statement. It was during the reign of Iltutmish that Genghis Khan reached the Indus in pursuit of the fugitive Khwarazmi prince. Okay, yes, in fact, there was a person by the name of Jalaluddin Mangabarni who ran away from the attack of Genghis Khan from Central Asia, and he tried to gain refuge in the court of Iltutmish, but it was not given by him. So the first statement is correct. And the second one, it was during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq that Taimur occupied Multan and crossed the Indus region. This statement is patently wrong, because Muhammad bin Tughlaq's period, Timur did not invade. In fact, Timur he invaded during the later stages of Tughlaq Empire when the empire was in its weakest position post Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So the second statement is wrong. If you know both these statements, which are very common in medieval India, then you will be able to answer the question. Otherwise, you will not be able to answer the question. And it was during the reign of Devaraya II of Vijayanagara Empire that Vasco da Gama reached the coast of Kerala. This statement is also wrong. But if you are clear about the first and second statement, this statement you need not know. So the answer for this question is 1 only is the answer. And in fact, the third statement it is wrong because Devaraya II he was present in Vijayanagara Empire some 50 years before Vasco da Gama's entry into India in 1498. So the answer for this question is 1 only is the answer. Then 69th question. When it comes to the 69th question, it talks about the story of Saint Francis Xavier. Okay, so for people who are interested in history, they might be knowing about this person called Saint Francis Xavier. He is a famous personality who is associated with the Portuguese Catholic Christianity, and he tried to promote the Christian faith in India by establishing an order called Jesuit order. And it is considered to be a miracle in Christianity because his dead body is not disintegrated even after 500 years of his death, and it is present till date in Goa. Okay, but the thing is he did not die in Goa. Okay, he did not die in Goa. His dead body is present in Saint Francis Xavier's church in Goa. He died in China, and his dead body was brought back by the Portuguese from China to Goa. If you know this fact, then automatically statement 2 becomes wrong, and 1 and 3 will be the answer. And this is how you have to arrive at the question. And only history enthusiasts might be knowing about it. And Saint Francis Xavier's name is provided in your text in your spectrum textbook, but the story behind Saint Francis Xavier is not usually dealt. Okay, but I do it in my classes. Saint Francis Xavier, he is a famous personality because after 500 years of his death also his nails are still growing, his dead body is not disintegrated, you can see the skin on his face, and every year they open up the dead body of Saint Francis Xavier for public viewing during this celebrated feast of Saint Francis Xavier. So the third statement is correct, first statement is correct. So the answer for this question is 1 and 3 only because he died in China and his dead body was brought back to India. Okay, so this is the answer for this question. 1 and 3 only is the answer. Then when it comes to the 70th question with reference to history of ancient India, there are 2 law schools in India, Mitakshara and Daivaga. This has become prominent nowadays because of the reason that right now women's property rights in India are being discussed, and Hindu Code Bill, it has come in the news multiple number of times, and Hindu Succession Act was also under debate. So it is history plus current affairs mix, it has been asked as a question. And when it comes to this Dayavaga and Mitakshara, 2 prominent law schools of India, Mitakshara school, it is followed mainly in central India and South India. Whereas in eastern India, that is Bengal region, they follow a school called Dayavaga school. So naturally, okay, it is not upper caste, lower caste division. So the first statement is wrong. Then the second statement is with respect to the Mitakshara and Dayavaga school. Mitakshara school's property rights are based on a system called co-personary system. And under this co-personary system, okay, 4 generations of male members, that is great grandfather, grandfather, father and son, all 4 of them, they share the right to property over the ancestral property. This is known as the co-personary system, and Indian Hindu law right now also, or Hindu Succession Act also, it follows the same Mitakshara idea in property succession. Whereas the other school is known as Dayavaga school. Dayavaga gives individual property rights to the father. Okay, father, individual property rights to a person. Let's suppose a father or the head of the family, he holds complete control over the ancestral property. His son does not have any property rights till the time of the death of the father. So this is known as the Dayavaga school. Okay, and in India right now we don't follow the Dayavaga school, we follow the co-personary rights system, which is based on the Mitakshara system. So the second statement is correct, whereas if you know the second statement is correct, naturally the third statement is wrong, because both Mitakshara and Dayavaga school, they don't talk about or entertain women's property rights. Dayavaga gives a minimal property rights to the widows. Okay, but that statement, if it is considered, then the third statement will become wrong too, will become right too. So that is not the case. Okay, only we have to consider that 2 is the correct answer, and 2 only, that is B is the correct answer for this question, because there is no option for 2 and 3 only. So this level or this extent UPSC has gone in asking questions, and if you are generally interested in history, then naturally you will be able to answer these questions, and by following some techniques of elimination also you will be able to solve the questions. Okay, that's it. And try to or this paper, it very clearly points out that history is moving beyond the books, and we need a guide who is going beyond the books. And at Vishnu's IAS, we are going to handle history as a subject beyond the textbooks. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for your time. This is Umesh signing off.